Good. Two possible installation ways. You can do it with an L when the window is already in the opening, or you can fold it like in U. Then you have only one tape you need for both application possibilities, like he's doing, so he's installing it around the window first. This is a critical point, and the most made mistakes in window installations, they just stick straight around the corner, and when you fold it then on the other side, there's some material missing. So you have to overfold it and stick it to each other 1.5 times the width of the gap. But with it, Robert, he will show you later downstairs how it looks like in reality. This is really important. Then you can bring it in the opening, fill the gap with insulation. Normally it's PU foam, but you can fill it with mineral, sheet wool, whatever you have and you like. Yeah, and then you stick it to the surface and you can plaster over it, and you have a durable, tight connection. Same for outside. Here is another picture. It's both diffusion but wind-driven rain type. We tested all our tapes concerning the guidelines of the EFT in Germany, so the Window Institute, where they install the tapes, and then they make an air tightness test, they made a wind-driven rain dye test directly after installation and after aging. And the aging is very interesting because they open the window, I guess, 3,000 times and close it, open and close it, because then you have always the movements. Then they simulated storm. They have a sub-pressure and under-pressure, sub-pressure and under-pressure. Then they have bringing heat on it, I guess 60 grams with 80% relative air humidity. And after that, they are retesting again if all this connection remains airtight, and we pass it with all of our systems. Very interesting statistic to know. Another point is what's happening here at the windowsill. The windowsill is a very, here we have to expect a lot of water. We have a special windowsill tape, which is butyl caoutchouc, and it's a very thick material. Oh. It's a very thick material, so it's absolutely watertight, and we can install here in the windowsill. So, oh, it's bad picture. So you just stick it in the window, and you bring it up 20 centimeters. And the good thing is, when you bring it up, do it in one piece. So when you go up, you just overfold it like this. It's not good. Whittle down to Roberts. He has a lot of work to do in the break. But you can overfold it like this. And then you have closed this difficult point where we found most of the leakages in the building site. Another important point is here. You can stretch the tape simply a little bit. You can stretch it a little bit so that you can even overstick this difficult parts here. Like give it around, be careful, it's sticking good. You can have a look about the overfolding. And then you stick it to the surface, cut it in the length you need it, and yeah, you have a good second bearing watertight layer under the windowsill. And this tape is not the cheapest one, but it's sticking very aggressively to all different surfaces, even if you have low temperature. What you have normally, you have difficulties with butyl caoutchouc tapes. But we have a lot of installers, when they have used it once, they reuse it again because it's so easy to install and they achieved such a good result. When you're interested, just contact Ivas at ARTIVA. In some countries, they are using it instead of EPDM on the outside. So because they like the thickness of the material, they just stick it from the window frame to the surface. They overstick the metal connectors, and they say we are, even it's more expensive than EPDM, we do not have to prime it, we do not have to use this expensive glue, we do not have to remove the tape and let the solvents of the glue dry out. So big projects are realized here with these exo-seal tapes. Good. In the ending, 2 products left. 2 products left only. These are new products. One is already available in the market, and the other one is I've never presented in Europe, but Ivas asked me to do so for Latvia. It offers a good of ideas. So we have a sprayable air tightness layer, which is comes as a liquid. It's an acrylic dispersion. It is a glue which you can apply with a brush. It's not like water, how do you call it? Like a gel? How do you call it?
Yeah, gel.
Like a gel.
Yeah.
You can brush it to the surface, but the biggest advantage you have when you install it with an airless machine. Do you know airless machine painters are using? It's not with air pressure, but it's just real pressure you bring with the machine on the material itself. And of course, clean it from dust, and then you can spray it directly out of the can in high speed and big amounts on the surface. They're using it a lot in Belgium, in the UK, in Spain, in the warm countries, Italy, especially when they do not plaster the whole height of the wall. Here is maybe 20 centimeters insulation and then the screed, and they do not plaster it, and because we have air leakages here, they fill this gap with this sprayable solution. You can see here that you can easily cover it, and you have a durable, long-lasting connection. The nice thing is, during drying it turns from blue, it's turning from blue to black, and here is a sample in it that you can touch it. You can feel how flexible it is in the beginning, so yeah, it's a really nice product which offers a lot of possibilities. Just think if you can use it in your application. There is as well this portable applicator available, so when you have a refurbishment situation, you can close these gaps here, which, yeah, are often a problem. Good. A brand new product, which is already, we're working in New Zealand, Australia, and we are launching now in the US, is the Solitex at Hero. And the Solitex at Hero, this is a picture from our first sample site. It's a subroof membrane or wall lining membrane covered on a whole width of 1.5 meters with a tape, with a glue. In the US, they're using it a lot to achieve the perfect building tightness from the outside. This is a passive house we built in Massachusetts. They stick it completely on the surface, and then you have, of course, security. No water can run behind it because it's connected completely with the surface. Here you see it. In New Zealand, we have this blue color, which will be the final color available in Europe as well. And they cover these multi-story houses with this membrane as well. They're doing it for two purposes. They have it on one hand, they have a good water tightness, and they increase the air tightness by sticking it from the outside to the wall. But the main application is really in these big buildings. They're often the situation that they have this concrete structure. Between the concrete structure they have stones, masonry walls, and they do not use plaster on the outside because they have this ventilated but insulated facade. And on the inside they do not plaster it because they have a gypsum board with 10 centimeters distance to a space for cables and everything. And then the construction is not airtight. To achieve tightness, they are just sticking all the surface with a membrane. You can see it here, it's a smaller project, but you can see here all these stones, they cover it completely. This is application for refurbishment purposes. Sometimes you have houses, existing houses, and they are not plastered from the outside here. Outside wall here, they are not plastered. So you can achieve air tightness by sticking this membrane to it. It's in my house, I did it myself, alone. Then you see here even this difficult situation where the timber is going in real distance with the outside wall. This is my garage underneath. I could easily go with the membrane behind this timber. You see here. How should I realize this with plaster? Impossible. And even to cut it out between the rafters was very easily possible, and I realized this air ties, I guess, within 2 hours alone myself. If I should do it with plaster, mix the plaster, carry it up, bring the plaster on it, do plaster again, and then clean the tools, I'm quite sure I have nearly needed the triple or quadruple of the time. Good. So, to bring it to the ending, application and planning of air tightness is an important point to do it, to be sure that that we achieve the final quality really on the building side. This is absolutely important. There are tons of products available in the market, from us, from other companies, whatever. Take a closer look about the quality. Don't believe everything they say. There are clear differences, especially for the deck connections. I would always orientate it on available tests. Are products tested or not, or are they only saying they are good? Take a look at the test. And be sure which products are you really needing. Do you need all these products? Most of the situation can be solved with a normal tape and a glue. But for special purposes it makes sense to work with the primer, pre-fill the tape, grommets, whatever. Good. So far with the application side. We have now two possibilities. We can discuss a little bit if you have questions. We can go down and drink the coffee because I have two topics left. Exterior sealing with active moisture management. It's the same issue we have with the tapes. Products look the same, but there are clear difference in quality. And I have a short refurbishment information, how I can achieve air tightness when I make the insulation and the refurbishment of the roof from the outside. Show me later downstairs. Because it's not fitting. Maybe by the I show it with the roofs. Is coffee prepared? Okay, let's have a coffee. We meet in 30 minutes again and then to the last round. Thank you very much for your attention.